Yeah. My journey was a little bit different. When I came out, I lost everything. I lost my community. My family's
Oh,
been as supportive as they can be, but it's a
hmm
really hard transition for them as well. And so I ended up
Yep.
having to move across country just because I didn't
hmm
have the community that I needed to support me. But
Yep.
I found the community here. I mean, you can find a chosen family of people that will support you. There's a lot of people out there that have an understanding or a compassion and an empathy towards this lifestyle.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Infinite Ability Podcast. I am your host, Nick Yerhart, and we are here to encourage each other to find our own unique abilities. Let's go. All right, everyone. On today's episode, we have Ace, and I can't wait for him to share his story and journey and help everybody out. So, Ace, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So my name is Ayce Kyptyn, and I am a certified sex coach. So I'm a somatic sexologist. And basically, I got to this point because I am transmasculine. And so a
Okay.
few years back, I decided to start the medical transition from
Mm-hmm.
female to male. And I thought that I could help other people through the transitioning process as well. So because of everything that I learned and how to like be embodied and do it from a really healthy space, I thought,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I can provide the service for other people as well as they start to move in that direction.
Yeah, there you go. You know, it's amazing how a lot of times we go through a challenging time in our life, learn how
Mhm.
to work through it, learn what we need to do, and then go out and help others do the same. So
Yeah,
I thank you
absolutely.
for what you're doing.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. So, how do you like to spend most of your time?
Yeah, so most of my time is spent around helping other people through this journey.
Mm-hmm.
So full time, that's kind of what I do, right? I
Yeah.
get to know people's stories and kind of help them with wherever they may need some assistance. Outside of
Mm-hmm.
that, though, I live in Boulder, Colorado, and so I do a lot of hiking and going outside. I'm a jeeper, so I own a off-road vehicle that's pretty built,
That's
and
awesome.
so I really enjoy being outside. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm all about off road. I've been doing it since I was a kid.
yeah,
I've
man.
had many trucks with lift kits, big tires. I had a side by side for a couple of years, so I go out on the trails, go up
Yeah.
mudding. It's just a lot of fun. You know, it's a nice way to escape and just have fun.
Yeah, I saw your car the other day, man. That's pretty sweet ride too.
Thank you. Yeah, I've had that since I was 18, and I'm 32 now, so had it a long time. I've dumped a lot of money into it, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
That's fantastic.
Awesome. So when you're working with your clients,
Yeah.
what is typically the first thing that you help them
hmm
overcome?
Yeah, so I deal with clients on their gender identity, expression, and orientation. And so a
Yep.
lot of clients will come to me as they're starting to work through that process and they have a lot of questions or a lot of concerns. And I hold space for them just to be their authentic selves and
Mhm.
to, get to those deeper inner longings and get exactly what they want out of life. And so that's the way that I work with my clients. I have a program called the Erotic Blueprints that's created by Jaya. She's like one of the top 5 sexologists in the world. And so I walk my clients through that program as well, where we talk about your erotic blueprint types and how you engage in the world. And if you're an energetic or a sensual, a sexual, kinky, or a shapeshifter, and kind of
Mhm.
help people figure out their natural wiring in their body and then how to have more pleasure in their life.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in the world they don't understand that transgender. So, in your words, can you help people understand really what it's like for you and what
Mm,
you kind of went through?
yeah. So I realized at a really young age, probably around the age of 4, that I was different than most people. I
hmm
did not want to wear dresses. I did not want to do girl things. All my friends were
hmm
boys. I would throw a fit if I had to put on a dress or do my hair. I just was not into the feminine at all. And my
yeah.
family realized it too. So I was allowed to like be myself when I was at home.
Mhm.
But then when I went out into public, I had to have like this certain persona that I had to put on to be acceptable, right,
Yep.
in our world. And so I learned to do that at a really young age, and I really like I was successful. I became a executive leader in a really large international Christian organization. Like I was an incredibly successful person. But what ended up
Mhm.
happening was I was dying inside because I was repressing those desires that I had. And I didn't
Mhm.
have an outlet for it. I didn't have a place to ask the right questions, acknowledge who I am, accept who I am, all that. And so I ended up losing my job. I ended up losing my health. It's kind of a crazy story. But at the end of the day, my world fell apart and
Mhm.
all I was left with was myself. And I went,
Mhm.
man, I don't like who I've become. I mean, from the outside looking in, it looked like I had all these things, but I was really dying inside.
Yep.
So I went to a therapist and I kind of just like poured out my soul, and she looked at me and she was like, "Honey, you're not straight." And I was like, "What are you
Mhm.
talking about? I like men." Like it totally went
Mhm.
over my head. And she's
Yep.
like, "No, like you're not straight." And that's when I realized, like, fuck, I am trans
Mhm.
and I
Yep.
need to start this journey of like medical transition. So it's been
Mhm.
a 3-year process of getting to the point where I felt like I was my true self. I'm presenting myself that way outside in the world. Like if anyone were to see me today, they would say, "Wow, that's a man," right? They would not
Mhm.
know that I'm trans masculine. And
Yep.
so I'm at a space now in my life where I can live who I authentically feel like I am, and the world can
Mhm.
see me that way as well.
Yep. That's so awesome, and I connect with this story a lot because I'm actually gay,
Okay.
and I didn't come out until I was 26 years old. So my
Yeah.
whole life, like, I wasn't being myself. I
Mhm.
was hiding it. I definitely knew, but
Mhm.
I just wouldn't let it out. And
Yeah.
once I finally came out, like, my life got a lot better because I could be myself, and
Mhm.
it really explained a lot growing up to like my friends and family. That, oh, that makes sense. It's like, yeah, yeah, it does. But like, we're all ourselves, and the more you can be yourself, the better
Mhm.
off you are. So I
Yeah.
always tell people, no matter what, just be yourself, and
Mhm.
don't care about what other people think. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah, the moment that I decided to say screw societal norms and like I'm gonna be myself, I'm gonna live from that place of authenticity, my life
Hmm.
radically changed.
Yep.
And also I'm way happier, and I'm sure you are
Hmm.
too. Like
Oh
you can
yeah.
actually enjoy your life and be present in
Hmm.
the moment.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. You know.
Yeah.
Before I came out, I had to fake a lot about my life.
Hmm.
I was constantly hiding something, so therefore
Yeah.
I wasn't being truthful to anyone, including
Hmm.
myself. And
Yeah.
it's like once I finally had had the balls to come out, then like, and it was really cool because like my family and friends, they were all
Hmm.
totally cool with it. Like
Ah.
you hear a lot of horror stories where people come out and your family disowns you and all that, but my
Hmm.
friends and families, they were so awesome,
I love it.
so I'm really
Yeah.
thankful.
Yeah, yeah. My journey was a little bit different. When I came out, I lost everything. I lost my community. My family's
Oh,
been as supportive as they can be, but it's a really
hmm.
hard transition for them as well. And so I ended up
Yep.
having to move across country just because I didn't
Hmm.
have the community that I needed to support me. But
Yep.
I found the community here. I mean, you can find a chosen family of people that will support you. There's a lot of people out there that have an understanding or a compassion and an empathy towards this lifestyle.
Hmm.
And so sometimes that's what people need to do too, is like, hey, I need to close that chapter of my life and move forward, with other people that can't support me.
Yep. And you hear a lot of people say how they just don't understand things like this, and it's
Hmm.
like you don't necessarily have to understand it. Just be
Yeah.
supportive.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Yeah. Just realize that I'm a human,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I just want to exist and live my life just like you do.
Yep.
And so give me that opportunity. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. We're all human. Like, you know,
Hmm.
y- I have a cerebral palsy, but
Hmm.
that's not me. That's just a part of who I am.
Yeah. It
Along
doesn't
with,
identify who you are. Yeah.
exactly. Along with me being gay, it's just
Hmm.
a part of who I am.
Yes.
So it's just we all have our thing. We're all just all
Mhm.
here trying to be happy and enjoy life. And the way I look at it is enjoy it to the fullest. So just be yourself.
Exactly, man. I 100% agree with you. And the cool
Hmm.
thing is, once you can learn to love yourself, like that unconditional love for yourself, that's when you
Yep.
experience like true intimacy in your life. And
Yep.
that's when things start catapulting into the right direction, which is super fun.
Yeah, I agree. Me like 4 years ago, I got in a really dark place.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
didn't like myself. I definitely didn't love myself.
Mm.
And I went through a journey to help myself and discover myself. And now I can say that I've accepted who I am. I love
Yeah.
myself. And my
Mm.
whole life is a lot better now because I accepted, and yeah, it's just
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I think the dark night of the soul is something that people call this, like the death of an ego. And I think a lot of people need to go through that at some point in their
Hmm.
life. I think a lot of us fight that and we don't want to go through it. Like, who wants to go
Yep.
through the difficulties that we've experienced, right?
I know.
Nobody. Nobody
No.
would choose that, right? But at the end of the other side of it, your life is totally different. And the way that you show up in the world and the way that you engage with people, the compassion, empathy, care that you can have for somebody else that might be going through a similar journey is
Hmm.
just totally different.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. I agree. So, if somebody's listening to this and they're hiding some part of themselves,
Hmm.
what would be your advice to them?
Yeah. Well, I'd say the first thing is find your people. There's people
Hmm.
out there that will support you, that will
Hmm.
recognize who you are. They will ask the right questions. They will acknowledge who you are. They'll accept you, all of that. So that was the best thing that I did in my journey was I had a lot of unsupportive people
Hmm.
and they were my community. And then I
Yep.
had to I had to turn out to the world and say, okay, who's vibing at the same pace that I am? Like who
Yep.
understands me? Who wants to join me in this journey? And there's people out there that want to do that. So for me, I
Hmm.
had to hire professionals to start that journey, people that are
Hmm.
further along in this road than I am. So I would suggest, do some research, jump on Google, ask me if you're transmasculine and you need some help. Like,
Hmm.
find those people that can support you. The second thing I would say is get embodied, like, land in your body. I think a lot of us think about what's going on in the world or what's going on in our lives, and we get stuck in this mind trap.
Hmm.
And if we can land into our body and really feel the sensations that are there, we can find pleasure and live life out of that space versus living life out of pain. Because what I've
Yep.
found is a lot of times our mind will feed us lies all the time, but our
Hmm.
body doesn't lie. And we can
Hmm.
find that pleasure. We can choose to make the choice to find pleasure and transmute the pain into pleasure. And so that's my second tip is just like land in your body. And if you don't know how to do that, find somebody who does. There's a ton of professionals out there that are somatic experts, and they can help
Hmm.
you with breathing techniques or trying to, get out of the numbness that you have. There's a whole bunch of different tools that are out there for you to actually land into your body and come from a place that's grounded and centered in who you are. So those
Hmm.
are the two tips that actually really propelled me forward in my journey.
Yeah, I love that, and I agree with it so much. Just
Mm.
find your people, and then
Hmm.
also research and find help.
Yeah.
I've hired many coaches for
Mm.
myself to get me
Yeah.
to where I'm at now, and
Exactly.
like hiring a coach is the best thing that I ever did. Like it's
Yeah.
so helpful. Like
Yeah.
it's just amazing.
Yeah,
So
it
yeah,
it when I did that, it turned my life 180 degrees into the right direction. And
yep.
finally I was like, "Oh my goodness, like I can experience this as a human? How cool is that?"
Hmm.
Right? Having that support and that ability to have somebody to come alongside of you and up level you in conversation is just huge.
Yep, it really is. It really is.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, my slogan is "Your abilities are infinite." What does
Mm.
that mean to you?
Ooh, that's a great slogan, man.
Thank you.
It's have you heard my slogan?
I don't think so, no.
My slogan is from missionary to missionary and beyond in the bedroom.
I love it. That's awesome. That's great.
But
That's
as far
great.
as your slogan goes, I would say infinite abilities. I mean, there's so much we can do. Like I think a
Hmm.
lot of us get stuck in this rut and we live life from this place of pain, frustration, hurt. We're just kind of going through the motions and we don't realize the fact that we have the ability to make a change in our life and we can do something amazing. And those
Hmm.
abilities are we have infinite abilities from that.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's necessarily what you mean by your slogan, but that's what I take from it.
So that's the wonderful thing about my slogan is it means something different to everyone. So,
Mm,
I ask that question on every episode. You are
mhm.
episode 71. So
All right.
all the answers are different and they're all incredible. So
I love
thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How would you define your slogan from your point of view?
So I define it as like my abilities. So what I'm capable of doing, the only thing that can hold me back is myself.
Mm,
So ignore all the people that say you can't do something or you
hmm.
shouldn't do something and just go up there and do what you want and
Yeah.
experience the things that you want.
Mm,
And it's like for me, like my slogan, like the meaning for me, it changes all the time
mhm,
because, my abilities are infinite. So it keeps
mhm.
changing because I keep experiencing more and more things in life.
Yeah. That's fantastic. I
So,
love that. Find out what you want and then make a change. Do something with it. You
yep.
have a voice, you have choice. Go out and do it. I love that.
Yep, exactly. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, how can people find you? How can they reach out?
Yeah. So I'm very active on Instagram and on Facebook under Ace Kyptyn. So just spell
Hmm.
out my name and you'll find me there. And then also I have a website, acekyptyn.com. And so if they would like to work with me, they can find my services there. They can find out a little bit more about me. And shoot me an email. That'd be great.
Awesome. And I'll put your links in the show notes so everybody can find you.
Fantastic. Thanks, man.
So, do you have any last words of wisdom that you would like to
Yeah.
share?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think in the world today, there's a lot of frustration,
Hmm.
and a lot of people are finding dissonance, and they're finding like, oh, I believe in this, and you believe in this, and we're kind of fighting each other. And the way that
Yep.
I come about this is I say, build a bigger table and pull up a seat.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
there's some people out there that have the ability and the resources to pull other people into the room and actually give them the ability to have a voice in that space. And so,
Hmm.
my hope and desire is that we live in a world where we can find harmony and we can thrive together. Because I feel like a lot of people um, right now are just fighting, and that's
Yeah.
not getting us anywhere, right?
Yep.
We all have different experiences, and a lot of people, in fact, I think the statistic is 80% of people don't know one trans human being. And right now in the world, there's a lot of hate towards trans because people have a fear and they have an
Mm-hmm.
ignorance about it. They don't understand it. And so,
Yep.
if you don't know somebody who's trans masculine or trans feminine or somebody that's on the LGBTQ spectrum, I'd say
Hmm.
invite them to dinner, hear their
Hmm.
story, because you're gonna find out that you relate to them more than you think you do, and
Yep.
we're just humans, right? And
Yep.
so if we can engage in those conversations with each other, that's the way that we're gonna change this world.
Yep. And a lot of times, for the people that do have a problem with it,
Hmm.
it's not even really their opinion. It's what
Mm.
they grew up around. So, like their
Hmm.
parents and their friends. It's like
Yeah.
discover for yourself.
Mhm.
Like just ex- experience it for yourself, and then make your own opinions after that. Don't take
Yeah.
somebody else's opinions and live by that.
Exactly.
That's never good.
Yeah, I mean, get curious with it, ask questions,
Hmm.
do some critical thinking about it, because I think that's going to start to change your perception of the other people that are in this world that are different than you. We're
Yep.
not as scary as you think we are.
Nope, definitely not. All right, so this has been really great. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for your time, Nick.
If you enjoyed this show, please go ahead and share it on your Instagram story and tag me in the Nick Yerhart. Also, go ahead and share it anywhere else that you see fit, because the only way that I can grow this is by you guys sharing it. I don't sell anything on here. I don't have any sponsors, so let's just get it out there by word of mouth and help more people. Alright, everyone, remember, your abilities are infinite.